Yo, hello, what's up everyone? This is Kai here, back again with a new episode of Epic 7 video. With RTA season coming to an end within 9 days. Today I'm gonna talk about a special topic about RTA climbing and the hero that you must build, and I'm going to show you the stats of my hero as well for those key units that I think you can try to use and try to climb up, right, to get to master if you are new players, or get to like champion, right, if you want to push for an extra edge. So if you like my video and find today's videos very helpful, please make sure to like and don't forget to subscribe as well. So let's just jump right into it. As you can see right now, currently I'm in the legend level RTA, rank 29 right over here. To be honest, I struggled a lot last season. I wasn't able to finish the legend in the last day. And hopefully this season I'm able to get that legend frame, right? That's what I'm aiming for. By the way, if you're one of the legend player and you fought me before, please go easy on me on the last day, right? Because this is really my first time trying to get the legend frame. I think I'm going to retire the next season as well after I get the frame. So yeah, please go easy on me. Okay, with that get out of the way, right? If you're a new player, right, out here, right? Today I'm gonna show you the top 5 unit that you must build, right? If you have not done so yet, and then you can use in RTA to climb up. Let's just jump right into it. So up at the number 1, I'm going to the top of the list, right? It's going to be Carrot. This unit is proven to be very strong, like highly contested in any level of RTA fight. No matter it's like bronze, silver until legend up, right? This unit is just crazily strong, mainly because of her kit, right? Because of his AoE strips S3 and the burn, right? The burn ticks and can do a lot of damage. And she self-cleanse and grant a barrier, a thick barrier, and also can burn the enemy as well whenever they touched her. Very powerful skills, right, to keep her alive and to keep her not CC'd. S1, slow debuff and more burn. So basically, if the enemy team doesn't have any cleanse, right, or any like water unit that can potentially be missed, Carry gonna dominate the meta. Carry gonna dominate the fight because she just does too much damage. Because the S3 is only like 3 turn cooldown. You pair her up with the Scepter, right, to reduce cooldown even more. And the way you want to build your carry is you want high attack, high survivability, defense HP, no crit chance, no critical hit damage, high speed, and some effectiveness. For me, because I don't have the perfect gear, so I have some crit chance, critical hit damage there. But ideally, you want more defense stats, right, and more speed as well. The attack is super good, right? The attack is super good. Yeah, and this is my carrot, and you need her to be on immunity ideally because you might get CC turn 1 because she's not very fast. But this unit is a beast, right? This unit is a beast. I mean, if you're in Legend, you know how to counter her. But like if you're like newer game players, there's almost no way to counter these units, right? I highly suggest to use this unit as your main DPS if you want to climb up. Okay, up at the number 2 spot is going to be Maid Chole here. Maid Chole, very strong unit as well. But she's harder to get because she's like an ML 5-star hero. She's crazily strong at the moment. One of the best soul weavers in the game, mainly because of the S3. You get revive buff, right? Basically 2 lives for every heroes, and attack buff, right, to allow you to play more aggressively. And S2 also very powerful, gaining like 20% ER for all allies, right? Very strong, and also heals a lot, heal 2 targets. And if you use Shimadra stuff, right, you can get more ER, right, to prevent your team from being CC'd, and can heal a lot as well, right? Increase the healing. I think Shimadra stuff is probably the best, but you can also go like Water's Origin if you feel like your mate is a little bit squishy, or you can go Wonders Potion Vow to clutch out that specific debuff, right? The stun, or the sleep, right, or something. Ideally, you want like and didn't mention this. S1 also 40% chance to stun. If you stun, you get 15% CR push for your team. Super strong. You can control up like some unit here. My Maid Chole is on a tanky, speedy ER build. Like decent tankiness and high ER. Ideally, you want more ER, but my gear is limited. If you have the gear quality, I think you can go for like 200 ER, right, on Maid, without sacrificing a lot of defense and health. Because one of the weaknesses is that they're gonna one-shot your Maid, but you want your Maid to be very tanky as well. Or you can put Water's Origin as an artifact to prevent a one-shot, or Proof of Valor sometimes even. Yeah, because sometimes if they try to go for the one-shot comp and the top model Lulu card, right, or the Remnant Violet fail to kill your Maid, you can revive everybody and it's game over. And you want the speed to be relatively fast because you want her to go before your damage dealer to apply the attack buff and to boost up the damage potential. And you don't want any effectiveness. I think the 18% is the built-in innate effectiveness, because Mei is not there for the stun. Mainly you want Mei to survive, right? I think this is a super good stats line for Maid. You can go for more tankiness, more speed, or more ER, and you want immunity as well. You want immunity. If you cannot afford immunity on this stats, you can go for the resist set. But remember that you might get stunned up turn 1 with the Soulburn Cerise. That's the only scenario you're gonna get stunned up. Yeah, very, very strong Soul Weaver, right? Very, very strong, and the best Soul Weaver. If you can grab with the Mei and the enemy team doesn't have like a counter revive mechanism like the Symbol Angelica or the ML Haze, Mei is guaranteed win, right? Guaranteed win. And also I forgot to mention the S3 also is a cleanse as well, right? You can deal with some debuff, right? The Byceria. Also, why is it? Because like these days why Byceria is not very good anymore is because of the prevalence of Maid Chole clutching in RTA. Okay, I'm having a little bit of lag. Okay, that's for number 2. And for the number 3 spot, we're gonna have Blue Krau. Very common unit. He's actually on the banner as right now. So if you want to climb, right, and you don't have Blue Krau, you probably want to consider pulling him because he is super strong. Very good stat line, right? Very tanky hero, and mainly because of this S3, right? When you get low HP, right, you can horse one target for defense penetration and immediately one-shot a unit, right? Say you only have like 2,000 health left, and you horse based on your missing HP, right? And you can kill like a very tanky unit right off the bat, and you provide defense, but you provide provoke, you provide Aureus. I think Aureus is the only artifact good on Krau because you want her to absorb damage, right? To get to low HP, then you can use the S3 to horse, immediately snipe someone. And ideally, you want immunity set, but I cannot get immunity set for my Krau, so I go for the resist set. You want high HP, high defense, high speed as well, high ER. My Krau's ER is not very good. Like the ER 91 is too low. You want more. You want ideally 150, right? But you also want the tankiness, because sometimes I feel like if your Krau is not tanky enough, he get one-shotted before he can even horse. So you really need the tankiness. You need the high HP, right? My HP is super low because, and you see my defense is super high because I have this very good piece, but it's on defense main stats with 30% HP, right? This is probably one of my best tank gear. But yeah, this is unfortunate, but I have to put it this way. On Krau, right? 200 speed. Ideally, you want more, you can apply a defense buff as early as possible. But I would say focus on the HP and the defense first, and the ER first, and then forget about the rest of the stats, right? Obviously, you want speed. Very, very powerful hero because what people do nowadays in RTA is they see the carrot pick, then you can answer with a Krau pick because Krau can horse the carrot when he gets low and can one-shot the carrot. Or you can pick Krau and carrot together, right, on your team to provide that huge front line, huge defense buff potential, right, unkillable potential. A very powerful hero. I think he's one of the better knights at the moment because also he wins against the Last Rider Krau. Remember that. Last Rider Krau S3 gets your team to low HP and horse right away, right? Krau can horse right away. Very powerful hero, very powerful hero. I think the only hero that he loses to is like CC type of hero, like the Cerise, maybe ML Bao, right? Or F10, something like that. But other than that, because right now we have a lot of counter CC units, well, you can drop counter CC unit along with Krau. So there's almost no weakness for this hero. Okay, let's recap a little bit. So far, we talked about 3 heroes: Carrot, Maid Chole, and Krau. Let's go on to the next hero. The next hero is going to be Landy. Okay, Landy is proven to be one of the stronger hero and probably one of the overpowered DPS at the moment because of this defense penetration. Really, it's like 50% defense penetration. Also, she's anti-buff, right? If you have a lot of buff on your team, she can basically use S3 every single turn and provide speed buff to your team and the scale really well into the late game because of this attack percent increase. And the S1 is a CR push mechanism where can help her to cycle faster and pair up with the guiding light, right, to make her unkillable, untouchable. Yeah, Landy is super strong. I think without carrot, we're probably gonna see like a Landy first pick all the time because the only way you beat Landy is actually using carrot because carrot can burn and take the Landy out of this guiding light stealth and try to sober and pop the Landy, right? But with carrot out of the board, Landy is probably one of the best DPS, to be honest, because she has such high damage and high utility as well. For the speed buff, allow your team to lap around the opponent. My Landy is on a speedy damage build with 4k attack and relatively speedy and high critical hit damage as well. And I like this build because I am good on DPS gear. But honestly, I think the best way to build Landy is build like a slow tanky Landy because to make her unkillable. A lot of the time you find yourself suffering because Landy just get popped right away, right? Because Landy loses to a lot of debuff team, right? Or a lot of strip teams like Bazaar, like Cerise, right? F10 maybe not because she's green, but definitely carrot. So if you build your Landy very tanky on counter set or on lifesteal set, she can survive and scale into the mid to late game and then pump up a lot of damage. That's why I think Landy is very strong hero at the moment because she's one of the better DPS. Sometimes you can even use Landy to fight carrot if you have a really good gear setup. Or really like the protect the Landy comp setup, right? Protect the Landy comp setup. That's why I think you need this hero, right? If you want to be successful in RTA, and she can be very strong. And this is my Landy build. I don't have immunity. Ideally, you want immunity to prevent yourself from being CC'd, but I don't have the immunity gear, so I'm opting to go for this high damage Landy setup. Last but not least is our all-time favorite Arbiter Wieldred. I think everyone should have a Arbiter Wieldred right now because of the free Moonlight connection thing going, right? If you don't have Arbiter Wieldred, I think you need to pull for Arbiter Wieldred or Spectre Genebra if you're like a more PvE oriented person. Also, Spectre Genebra is also very strong, but that's another story. So for our last spot, I'm going to give it to Arbiter Wieldred because of how insane this hero is, right? This hero has faced a lot of counter picks in RTA, but still proven to be one of the better hero in RTA. You pair him up with the Elixir's Basket, right? With a 40% chance to get a 70% attack buff, right? Attack up. You're gonna wipe a lot of things. And he's proven to be very strong because of the damage potential, the AoE damage potential, and he revives and can do a lot of damage as well from the S3. And there's a bug for his S3, right? The blind always lands, no matter how high your effectiveness resistance is, right? That's the case. And I have my Arbiter Wieldred on a speedy, high damage build. With a decent attack and a critical hit damage. Ideally, you want more speed, but my gear is limited, right? If you want to play Arby as a speed cleaver, you want more speed to let Arby to go first and nuke an S3 right off the bat, right? To do a lot of damage and to blind everybody who is not on immunity set. And his S1, right, attacks 2 targets and decrease combat readiness by 15%. Arby is proven to be very strong, but the reason why I think Arby is more risky to play nowadays is because if you first pick Arbiter Wieldred, unless you have a perfect setup for him, he's gonna get countered really hard, either by ML Haste, right? The direct counter, Sinful Angelica, top model Luluka, or by full tank teams, right? LR Krau, A Tywin, Blue Krau, General Perk is a very tanky hero that he cannot kill, right? Even with 2 lives. But overall, I think Arbiter Wieldred is still very strong. But keep in mind that if you want to early pick Arbiter Wieldred, you are open up into counter picks, which can be tough when you are drafting. But nonetheless, I am an Arby user and I really like using my Arbiter Wieldred if I get a chance to do so. So I think he deserves the top spots, right, in the current RTA meta. And ideally, you want to build your Arbiter like just no defense stats at all, right? Just speed, attack, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. And if you can afford, you can run immunity set, because sometimes I feel like my Arby gets stunned up by higher, speed heroes as well, which is not ideal. Yeah, that wraps up for today's video, guys. To do a quick recap, if you are want to climb really fast within the last few days, I highly suggest you to gear the following heroes, right? Up at the number 1 we have Researcher Carrot, and number 2 we have Maid Chole. I'm showing the stats again just in case you missed some of them, or you can always go back and pause the video to have it sample build. And the number 3 spot gonna be Krau, right? Blue Krau. And number 4 spot going to be Landy. And then the last spot is going to be Arbiter Wieldred. if you have this hero ready and you have like some other solid support hero like A-Ross or maybe Flurry, right, to support them, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be very successful in climbing the RTA and try to get that Ruel skin. And with that being said, I wish you all good luck in the last day of climbing, right? Last few days of climbing RTA. And I will see you guys in my next video.